Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, we saw that ES sold off down to 2100 quarter to '02 quarter, found support over there, responsive buyers stepped in, and now we're getting a little bit of a short-term bounce here. Now, given the large balance breakdown that took place on Friday, we know that in the coming days, our overall bias is going to remain bearish and sellers are going to have edge anytime ES pops back up into an important area of resistance. But at the same time, we have to understand that the market is short-term exhausted, and in the event that it continues to go lower, we do have some pretty decent support down at 80.5 to 82.5. The 90 to 92 is a fairly significant zone. We have the open gap at 85.5, naked VPOC 84. So that entire range from 80 to 90 has some pretty significant support in the S&P. And given just how big the move was on Friday and how quickly we've moved just so much, most likely we will attract responsive buyers at those significant areas of support on first test, and we could still get a pretty decent bounce off of these support areas as well. So even though our overall bias short term is going to remain bearish, we need to read the market in real time. We need to be aware of the real-time momentum situation because Friday's move marks a change in the overall volatility situation of the market. So we are moving from a summer low volatility market to now heading into the fall and a higher volatility market. And when you are trading a high volatility market, you can get some really decent trades on both sides, especially when the market has established such a wide range. So we are going to look for short setups at resistance. We are going to give sellers the edge, but at the same time, we can't be so bearish that we're not willing to take good long setups off of key areas of support, and we become so bearish that we start shorting the market right into support. That would be a mistake. So we do still have to keep a balanced view, and we are going to be active on short side. On the upside right now, we have resistance at 15 to 17, and holding below that area would mean that we are still stuck in the overnight range, and there's still potential for sellers to step in and push the market down towards 07.5 to 08.5 and 2100 quarter to '02 quarter. Now off the open, if we can get back below 07.5 to 08.5, that's going to be the first sign that sellers are really stepping in. And if we fail to get back below 07.5 to 08.5, then it means that we could just be balancing and eventually make a break above 15 to 17. Because from a location perspective, if you really zoom out and look at the larger time frame, these are still actually fairly aggressive prices to short the market. So, we still have to exercise some level of caution here and read the market in real time and see if the momentum is really supporting the downside. So 15 to 17 is the first area of resistance, but it is still technically an aggressive area of resistance. In the event of a breakout beyond 15 to 17, as long as the breakout is happening on a strong upside tick, which means that there's upside momentum, then the next key area of resistance is 25.5 to 27.5. Sellers can certainly be active there. Beyond that, we have the previous VPOC at 2130, and then some stronger resistance at 32 to 35, which marks the low from August. And then beyond that, 40 to 42 is even stronger resistance. So as you start going back up and testing these areas of resistance, just understand that even if you take one out, it doesn't mean that the next one can't work. That's one of the common mistakes I see, is that traders will take the trade at the aggressive area and then skip the trade at the ideal or conservative area of support or resistance. So on the way up, just keep in mind that as you head higher and higher, the location starts becoming better and better for the sell side, and the risk reward is really going to start tilting back towards the sell side. So 25.5, 27.5 is still a key area where we can look for shorts. 32, 35 is a very good spot. 40, 42, and it's unlikely we're going to go beyond 40.42. Even if we get a very decent bounce, it's unlikely we're going to go back beyond that. So we don't really need to cover any of the zones beyond that. But you get the idea. The higher you go, the better it becomes to short the market. On the downside, a break below 2100 quarter to 02 quarter would just further confirm the complete shift in the overall directional bias. And from there, we can go down to 95, 97, and 90 to 92. Now, the 95, 97, is a good area of support, but we have to exercise some caution simply because the bias would be bearish, and at that point in time would be breaking below the entire overnight balance. So we do need to exercise some caution at 95 to 97 and determine how the market got there. Is it short-term exhausted? And then still play some defense with it. 90.92 is a good spot, and then beyond that, the 84 naked VPOC, 85 half gap, and especially the 80 half to 82 half, those are some very solid areas of support, and the expectation is for responsive buyers to be active there on first test, and we can get a pretty decent bounce off of those zones. So that's the view heading into the open. Let's keep an eye on 15 to 17 off the open, how the market responds there, and how it responds to 07.5 to 08.5 is going to help us establish our intraday bias. And in the event that we do start getting a breakout, like I said, just monitor that real-time momentum on the NYC tick. And once you're getting good location, then it becomes a good short setup. And when you are in a high volatility environment, even the average rotation or the average response at the key zones can provide a very quick 2 to 3 R. So the opportunity potential right now is fairly high in the market, and that's probably going to continue, and we're probably going to stay in a higher volatility market at least for the foreseeable future over the next several days. So those are our main ideas heading into the open. Let's see if the sell side can really maintain that control and press it again today, and we'll take it from there.